Hi, um, my name is Rose, and I'm just going to go over kind of my experience. Now, I'm not a clinical counselor, psychologist, none of that. I do have a master's degree in business. I have a bachelor's degree in business with a minor in human resources because I do have that people. I'm an very empathetic person, so I have a lot of empathy for people. My working on a social work degree, so I do have a lot of sociology type experiences. But I wanted to go into what it's like living with a narcissist. Now, I had not really heard the word or really experienced it up until about a year ago. I had no idea, hadn't heard the word. And actually, a friend of mine who happens to be a relative of the narcissist that's in my life had actually told me, hey, you need to join TikTok. You know, Trump's trying to get rid of it, on and on and on. So I joined. I wanted to see, what is she talking about? What in the world is this all about? So I joined, and the first couple videos that kept coming up was narcissist and trauma bonds and what it's like living with them. And I went, wow, how did they know? That's exactly what I'm living. So I've spent probably the last year or so just learning the cycle, learning and watching the cycle and the experiences to understand the situation that I was in or in. And so I want to kind of YouTube my experiences as I go through a lot of this healing and getting out of the situation that I'm in. So the first thing I'm going to say is the narcissist does not come out as a narcissist when you first meet them. It is a process. So there's a cycle. I found some really good stuff online. So it's definitely going to start out. The first beginning is going to be the what they call love bombing. So he's going to ask a lot of questions, get to know you, get to know your weaknesses. So please, I think that was my biggest downfall is I trusted him. And he asked me a lot of questions about my family, my upbringing. He acted like he cared and even knew what I wanted. And so, I was like, God, I would love to have someone at home to help take care of things. I worked full time. At the time my 4 kids were living, or 3 of my kids were still at home, which they're not anymore. And so I was like, you know what, I can come and help. I can check your, at the time I had a built-in swimming pool, so I was checking my swimming pool. And then it slowly moved into him like, oh, I gave my notice at home. Is it, I have to move out of my house. Is it okay if I move in with you? I was like, well, yeah, things were working out. And then slowly things changed. So, the love bombing was a lot of compliments, like, wow, that looks really nice. And slowly it's going to move into control and abuse. So that was when, although he really didn't say anything about me, he did start going into how I was dressing, how I looked. Oh, well, like if I was a trophy on his wall or a notch on his belt. So it's like, oh, that's too low cut for you. Oh, I don't like that color on you. You need to change. I don't want you going out in public like that. You need to go do your hair differently. And it was just like, I'm just running to the store at the corner. Why does it matter if my hair is brushed or if my makeup's on? He goes, well, not next to me. You're not going to look like that. And I'm like, oh. So at first I thought, he goes, I want to have, my girl look, as good as she does when she's next to me in public. So I was like, okay, at first it was nothing big. But then it got worse. And, if you cry, it's like, how can you cry? He just turns off. He doesn't listen anymore. He just shuts down. And I didn't understand that at first. As I have learned, it's because they don't have that empathy. They lack the empathy. They failed in that stage during growing up. So they don't understand what it's like to cry or take accountability for their actions. So that was a very hard thing for me to learn because I didn't understand. I'm like, how are you getting pissed off and exploding as I'm sitting here crying? Like, how is that? I'm upset. And the next thing is kind of rage. Absolutely goes into rage, and it does get violent. He threw things, or he'll hit me, or throw things at me. I'll give you a perfect example. We were driving. He was, yes, he cheated on me a couple times. And I found out, and he was talking to some girl at the grocery store, because, I had to look a certain part. We're at the store, and gets a phone call from a girl, and then walks away, and just leaves me there. And he's gone for like 5 minutes. Like, I couldn't find him anywhere. So I finally got out and walked to my car. It's like, I don't need to be here. And then he wanted me to take him a bunch of places. And I'm like, not in my car. You can go home and drive yours. No, I'm not doing it. So he got mad and he tried breaking my window. He slammed my door repeatedly, like trying to break it. And then as we were driving, and I'm like, this isn't good behavior. This is not the kind of relationship I want to be in. I'm done. Like, peace out, bro, right? He then takes because I stopped at Jack in the Box on the way to grab lunch for us. He takes the Jack in the Box, because I was driving, so obviously I hadn't eaten most of my food. And he takes it and he throws it at me. So now I have Jumbo Jack across my windows. So I had to pull over immediately because I have food all over my windows. I have stuff in my hair, in my, everywhere. And I was just like, you gotta be effing kidding me. Like, you really did this while I'm driving the car together with both of us? So I was astonished and perplexed and didn't understand. And I didn't understand how someone would get so mad. It's like, you left me when some woman called you, and you left me in a store, and I don't even know where you went. And you had this fit about how I looked out in public, and we're just at the grocery store. Mind you, it's not even a big grocery store. It's a little pop store at the corner. And you just went ballistic, and you're throwing things. And there's times when I asked him, hey, please don't take that food out of the refrigerator. I bought that. That's for my lunch today at work or whatever, because he had no problem taking my lunch, right? And then upset that if, I went and spent money on food. Hello, you took my lunch. But, that's kind of weird. And then he always tells me that, I was playing victim. I'm playing victim? You cheated on me. You're having an emotional relationship with another woman, not to mention physical. Like, that's not the relationship I want to be in. I'm an educated woman. Yes, I'm nearing my 50s now. My children are all adults, and most of them are all in college or will be in college here and as soon as they graduate high school. So it's like, really? Like, I own my own house. I run my own business. I even helped him get his own business started. I'm the one that runs his business in the background. I do all the accounting, all the bookkeeping, all the customer service, and I get nothing. I don't even get a thank you. Like, I even pay for the ads to run his ads. I paid for his flyers, his, post cards, all of that mailing to get everything done, and I get nothing in return. Not even a thank you. I packed all his meals, cooked his meals 3 times a day. And just kind of realized that this isn't the kind of relationship I want. If occasionally I'll get a thank you, but it's like, what? Peace. I can cook if it's just my son and I, because he's the last one in my house, and I'm just down in my last few months. I don't need to cook a 4 or 5 piece course meal. He doesn't need a salad and main dish and 2 side dishes and a piece of bread and dessert. My son's make some spaghetti or top ramen, or I'm happy with McDonald's, and I don't need to go out and make, crab and all this other stuff every day for you 3 times a day. That's not how it works. So after that, you'll see kind of a calming stage, and that's kind of where I went. Most of the time, that's where I was. I knew I had to stay calm. I knew that there were certain apologies, and I had nothing to apologize because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't cheat. I didn't have an emotional relationship. There was nothing I could do. However, he got physically violent, even made a video, which I could always share. I do have it still, where he actually threatened to have me murdered. And I have it. And I've actually haven't shared this with anyone. Never shared it with everyone, right? And I think at that point I realized that this isn't who I want to be with, but I was scared because I didn't want my kids to bury me. So I learned how to keep the peace. I knew how to keep the calm and the quiet until things got really bad. Like, again, he's been very open, I guess, trying to hide his affairs. And then when I found, the condoms again, it was just like, you're kidding me. Like, I'm done. Like, this is done. And then suddenly, as a narcissist, he blames that back on me. Oh, it's your fault. If you didn't go through my phone, or if you weren't always suspecting through my car, you wouldn't have found the condoms and you would have never known. Really? That makes it okay for you to cheat on me? It's my fault that you were cheating on me and you're sitting here texting somebody 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Like, that's okay, but then you want me to get up? Yes, anger. And when I say he goes into those rages, I didn't cook him breakfast because I had rotator cuff surgery. So I have, good days and bad days because it's only been a few months. And he literally dragged me out of bed because I didn't make him breakfast and he wanted breakfast. And it's like, I make you breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning because I want to, because I love you. But when you want to be a cheater, have an emotional relationship, or you want to go outside the relationship, I ain't getting out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning to make you a meal. I work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I work, my job. I help him with his business, which takes, some time as well. I have my own business and I have my own kids. Plus, I'm still going to school working on another degree. And it's like, you want to, what? Like, I didn't understand. Like, you're not even appreciative. You expect it. And it's like, wow, this isn't who I want to be with. I want someone who would appreciate me. And even after I had my shoulder surgery and he didn't want to get up and even make me breakfast. And I, mind you, after my shoulder surgery, I was in extreme pain. And those of you who don't know, I have the videos posted up. They drill a hole, like an anchor into your bone. They shave off part of your bone to reattach the muscle and anchor it into the bone. So I was in a lot of pain. He didn't even want to make me breakfast. He didn't want to even put something like cheese and crackers on an icebox for me to eat during the day while I'm trying to recover because I couldn't get up. And I'm on pain medicines that make me loopy. So at that point in time, I realized I was done. And then I told him on my birthday, because he didn't have time for me, of course. Yeah, no physical intimacy, anything like that. I just told him, you know what? You're not the king that I want. You don't treat me like a princess or even a queen. I should be your queen. So I think I knew at that point in time, about 3 months ago, it was over. And then again at Christmas, and then again in January. But I kind of kept the peace because of his birthday. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to screw up his birthday like he did mine. I'm not that kind of person. So now I'm going through the cycle again. But it's over now. I totally am done. Haven't had feelings for him actually in a while. So I'm going through the process. I'm going to document as I go through this journey. And kind of what the cycles were, so that way you're aware, just from a survivor or someone in the process of trying to survive. I will eventually share some of the stuff that happened, some of the stuff that was said, because I think it's important to be out there for those that are going through it. Because I have a hard time, because I hear all these clinical psychologists and counselors and this and that, and this is what you need to do. But when you're in it, it's different. When someone says, I will have you murdered if you try leaving me, that's different. When they leave bruises on you because you did this, or they raise their hand at you with an open fist, knowing that they are strong enough to pick you up. Yes, he's got a great physique. I won't lie. Very attractive man. Very muscular. You know, you have that fear. And I have pictures I can show you. And as you go through it, you're like, holy cow. And as I share my experiences and things that were said, and you're going to start identifying those signs as well. And not everyone that says this is a narcissist. It's those that lack the empathy and the feelings. And the ones that can't share and don't understand what it's like. It's like, I'm almost 50 in a few years. And you can't even make a commitment to me? Like, I cook your 3 meals. I pay the mortgage. Yes, the mortgage is in my name. All the bills are in my name. I know how to run things. I got my stuff together. And then you have the audacity to treat me that way? And you can't do anything. You can't even take out the garbage. And you want me to be committed to you, and you want me to think that it's okay for you to cheat on me, and you think it's okay to tell me that it's not okay for me to have feelings, and it's not okay for me to cry occasionally, that upsets you, that me telling you that it's not okay to cheat on me is playing victim? Yeah. Oh, wait till you see some of the things that I've gone through. You'll understand exactly what it's like, and I'm going to get through this, and if you're in it, you're going to get through it together. Please feel free to contact me. I'm going to share things that even my best friends, my kids, my mom doesn't know. Granted, my kids are adults, so I'm okay sharing this information now. I'm just glad they didn't know about it. They kind of knew, but they didn't know everything that I was going through at the time. So, again, if they're trying to say you're playing victim or it's your fault because they're cheating, because if you didn't look through their phone, of course, you wouldn't have known had all those pictures of other naked women or people that are sending him pictures of their cleavage or this or that, and he's making these comments about how good it looks. And then to say, it's your fault if you didn't look. Excuse me? My fault? My fault that these women are texting you and you're telling them to text you and you're responding back in an inappropriate way for someone that's in a relationship? To me, that was a red flag. And I was just like, this has got to be over with. Like, I thought he was going to change. We went through some counseling or some separation stuff, and he's like, no, I'm going to change. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And I had a long list. I said, you do it one time. You're out. You're done. And he did. And I don't think he believes me that I'm ready to get rid of him. And he's going to find out here. Happy birthday month. Yes, we're going to get through this. And I'm going to get through it. And you're going to be here with me, watching me get through it. Because I am a survivor of a narcissist. And I now understand who they are. Stay tuned.